सर्वं ब्रह्ममयं रे 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 सर्वं ब्रह्ममयम् सर्वं ब्रह्ममयं सर्वं ब्रह्ममयं रे 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 सर्वं ब्रह्ममयम्.
Namaste. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. How are you? Okay. Yeah. Good. 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 Very good. Very good. Yeah. It's recording. Okay. We'll start. Okay. We'll get started. Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya-kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnur Gurur Devo Maheshwarah Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitavratavarshim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaധ്യായിനീം Ambattvāmanusandadhāmi Bhagavad-gīte Bhavadveshīnīm Namostu te Vyasa-vishala-buddhe Phullāravindāyada-patranetra Yena tvaya Bharata-taila-pūrnaha Prajvālido Jnānamaya-pradīpaha Prapanna-pārijātāya Totra-vetraika-pānaye Jnana-mudraya Krishnāya Gītā-mrta-duhe Namaha Sarvopaniषदो गावो दुग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैः रणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थखण्डोत्कलम् नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितं लोके सज्जन षट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयात् भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुदस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदेर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः ॐ Good morning and namaskaram to all. Yes, we will continue our discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We are on the 5th chapter. We completed up to the verse 22nd. 22nd we completed and will continue from the 23rd. What 22nd says, Yehi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkhayonaya evate आद्यंतवन्तः कौन्तेय न तेषु रमते बुधः न तेषु रमते बुधः बुधः means those jnanis, those who are self-realized, they don't find pleasure or they don't jump with joy in the bhogaha. Bhogaha means, what is the bhogaha? Indriya Vishaya Samyogam. Because of that, the bhogaha, sukha anubhavam. Because the sukha anubhavam, the pleasure, right, is the reason for the pain later. So that is dukkha yonaya eva. Dukkha yonayaha eva. Dukkha hetu it is. So because of that, the Buddha, those who have realized Satyadarshi or Brahmajnani, teshu na ramate. They don't indulge in those indriya vishaya samyoga sukham. So, if that is the case, so we realized, we understood that Atma Sukham or Shanti is the most important thing in each one's life, right? Then, why this Atma Sukham is not being experienced or being by everyone? So, if we go back to the third chapter, okay, third chapter, 38th verse. 38th verse. See, actually, on the 36th verse, Arjuna asks, Athakena prayuktoyam papam charadi purushaha anichanna vivarshneya baladiva niyojitaha. Hey, Krishna, if this is the case, see, nobody wants to do really adharma. Nobody wants to hurt others, etc. Nobody wants to do any wrong thing in their lives. Many of them, not all I am saying, but most of the people don't want to do any papa. But still they indulge in papa as if somebody is being us pushing from behind to do this pop-up, as if they are forced to do this pop-up. So then what is the reason for that? Arjuna asks. Just it is good to recap a few verses from the third chapter. Then Bhagavan says, Bhagavan uvacha कामयेष क्रोधयेष रजो गुणसमुद्भवः महाशनो महापाप्मा विद्येनमिह वैरिणम् काम एष क्रोध एष. These two are the main shatru, main enemies, right? Which is Mahasanaha, Mahapapma. This is the one which is causing, which is making people do papam. This is what Bhagavan says. So then Bhagavan continues with the 38th verse. Dhumena vriyate vannihi yatha darsho malena cha yatholbena vruto garbha tadha tenedamavrutam vannihi dhumena. So Bhagavan gives examples. A few examples Bhagavan giving. What is the examples? The examples Bhagavan gives is this. Dhumena avriyate vannihi. Vannihi dhumena yatha avriyate. Fire. There is fire, but you cannot see the fire because it is covered by the smoke. When it is covered by the smoke, you see the smoke only, you cannot see the fire, or the fire cannot be visible. So like that, it is covered. This Atma Sukham is covered. Atma Sukham is not being experienced. That Anandam, the Atma Sukham, Atma Rati is not being enjoyed by each one of us. Why? Because example is this, like the smoke which covers the fire, but we cannot see the fire. And another given, yadha darsho malena cha, right? If the mirror is very clean, you can see the reflection perfect. But if it is covered by dirt, or any dust, etc., the reflection will not be clear. So like that, when the dhumena vriyate vandi, when the fire is covered by smoke, or the mirror which is, there is dust, etc., you cannot see the reflection clearly. Same way, another one also Bhagavan gives, yathol bena bruto garbha, right? A pregnant lady, the inside the womb, it is covered by the embryo. So like that, these three examples Bhagavan gives. This kama and krodha, these two are the main culprits. These two are the main shatru, enemies. These are the two things which is covering this Atma Sukham. This covers the Atma Sukham. So it is good to refresh this. Then we will go to the 23rd verse. So the Atma Sukham, or the happiness within ourselves, we don't experience it because of the kama and krodha. Let us go to 23rd now. Right? 23rd. Shaknoti khaiva yas sodhum प्राक् शरीर विमोक्षणात् काम क्रोधोद्भवं वेगं स युक्तः स सुखी नरः. One more time. Shaknoti हैव यः सोढुं प्राक् शरीर विमोक्षणात् काम क्रोधोद्भवं वेगं स युक्तः स सुखी नरः. Yaha iha eva, right? Yaha iha eva sharira vimokshanat prak. Whoever, before dropping this body in this life itself, okay, before dropping this body in this life itself, one who, before everyone dies, very simple. Okay, before everyone dies means before this body dies. Before this, iha eva kama krododbhavam vegam. See, vegam here, vegam means the strong, intense emotions which are the result of kama and krodha. Okay, the emotions are see, with the kama and krodha will be swept, right? We will be swept by it, the emotions, right? That emotions, kama krododbhavam vegam sodum shaknoti, one who can stop it, one who can stop, or one who can it's not control means control is not the right word, it's stop completely the emotions which arise out of kama and krodha. One who can stop it, he is eligible for atmanubhavam, right? That person, one second, yeah, so that person is eligible for atmanubhavam. So yaha iha eva sharira vimokshanat prak, before they drops this body, if someone who can stop completely the emotions naturally. Okay, this stopping is not by force, it is to be naturally one who can stop the emotion that arises out of the two enemies, kama and krodha, the desire and the anger, which is comes out of this desire and anger. Then that human finds sukham, that human finds sukham, that person is eligible for Atmanubhavam. So again, the same thing which is explained very clearly from the third chapter, 37th onward, 37, 38, 39, 40, and all, we have to go through again. Then we realize that they are the main shatru. They are the main shatru for. And what is this? What is this control or the complete stopping of emotions out of kama and krodha is called manojayam. It is the manojayam. Okay, that is the manojayam, and that is the real sadhana. That is the real sadhana. Equanimity, practicing equanimity of the mind at all times when each one of us are in action, in karma, right? That practice through tattva bodham will naturally stop the emotions, or there will be no sweeping away, no, that emotions because of this kama and krodha. So see, there is a story told by Swami Shivananda. Okay, Swami Shivananda told a story once. So this is I read in a book. The story is, there was a sadhu who was 80-year-old. So this 80-year-old sadhu was asked by a sadhaka, okay, a disciple, a sadhaka. He asked him, "Sir, have you conquered desire?" This is the question. Have you conquered desire? So Swami said, 80-year-old, okay, he's a self-realized person. He said, "I will tell you later. I cannot tell you now." This is what he said. "I cannot tell you now." Then the sadhaka was shocked, because this sadhu is already 80 years, and even then he says that he is not sure whether he has conquered desire or not. And then he went on to live up to 90 years. The sadhu went on to live up to 90 years, and on his last day, few hours before dying, he called this same brahmachari, the same sadhaka. He called him and said, "My dear boy, I can tell you now that by the grace of Lord, I have conquered desire." So, what it means is that it means that this desire, the desire can pop up anytime. Any It can pop up anytime. It is possible. I'm not saying it will, but it is possible that it can pop up anytime. See, earlier, a few months back, I had gone to Tiruvannamalai. So, and I just met a Swami there. So I asked him. He had left his home and he has left his uh, he was in a well position in life, and then he left and then he became a Swami, young, very young. So I asked him, "How do you know that there are no more this vasana remains in you? How will you know that?" He said that, "I am watching all the time." He said, "I am watching all the time. Whenever there is a conversation between me and somebody, and or any of the transaction that is happening, as such as Swami does not have much transaction that is going on. But even then, he said that I am watching. If is there anything in me, karma vasana in me. So that means the sanchita, the sanchita karma, still something is coming up. So this is what he told me. So then after a few, he's watching, and then after a few years, he will know that if there is nothing coming, then he said, then there might be nothing remaining there. There is no karma vasana anymore left. There is nothing. But still, he is watching. So from that conversation, and also from this story which Swami Shivananda said, what Shivananda said, the Swami, that 80-year-old also, he said that, have you conquered desire? I am not so sure. And then before he passed away, he dropped his body, he called and told that I have conquered desire. One more incident I'll tell you. There was a great Vedanti Brahmajnani in Kerala. His name was Professor G. Balakrishnan Nair sir. Actually, I am following his Bhagavad Gita Bhashyam only. So he said, before a few days, sometime before he dropped his body, he told another Mahatma that nowadays, this is his words, okay, in Malayalam, but nowadays, I'll tell in Malayalam and then translate. എനിക്കൊരു ചായ കുടിക്കാൻ പോലും ഇപ്പൊ ആഗ്രഹം തോന്നാറില്ല. This is what he said. That is, now I don't have a desire, or I don't feel like even want to have a coffee or a tea. Tea is a tea. I don't have the urge or the desire to even have a cup of tea. This is what he said, this Mahatma. So in one of his talks, this Mahatma said this, the conversation between him and Professor G. Balakrishnan Nair sir. So this is the crux of this. So the desire, it can the desire for an object outside, right? A desire for an object outside for own happiness, or without that object, there is a possibility that the Atma Sukham might be affected. So we have to be watchful. Each sadhaka, each one of us have to be really watchful. So this is only possible through Tattva Jnana. So constant practice or constant reminding, we have to remind ourselves that we have to remind. See, one time you don't have to remind, right? One time there's Aham Brahmasmi, you don't have to remind. Naturally, we feel we are Brahman only. And when we look around, you don't see other than Brahman. Everywhere there is Sarvam Brahmamayam. That naturally it dawns, right? But these two stories and these discussions, we have to remember. We have to keep in our mind that this karma, and when if the karma is not fulfilled, there is krodha comes. So kama and krodha are together. Another kama and krodha is same as raga and dvesha. Kamam is ragam and krodham is dvesham. So this raga and dvesha, or the kamam and krodham, they are the covering, they are the obstacle for finding self or sukham, atma sukham. So this is before the fall of the body. It says there are two explanations for this prak sharira vimokshanad. Okay, there are two meanings are given. One is this, as we discussed, before the fall of the body. So before the fall of the body means, even when the gross body falls, if there are desires remaining in the Sukshma Shariram, that is, if there are desires in the mind, right? This mind will produce another body and go. Whereas Atma does not have any desire. Atma is ever free. Atma has no desires, and you know that you are Atma. So you know that you are Atma, and Atma does not have any desires. So what we have to understand from this is that it is very important to teach our mind that we are not this body. Body means we are not this gross body, we are not this sukshma shariram or the mind, we are not even this karana shariram, we are Atma, we are not this body, right? Another Swamiji was saying that it is all negation, right? It is all negation only. I am not this panchakosha vivekam, I am not this, I am not that, I am not this, right? Mano buddhya hankara chitta ninaham न च श्रोत्र जिह्वे न च घ्राण नेत्रे न च व्योम भूमिर na all negation only. I am not this, I am not that, I am not this, right? All negation. Then what remains is what it is. What remains is Brahman. What remains is Atma, right? So this is one explanation, that Atma is ever free and you are Atma. Whereas the body is limited, the body, the mind, etc. are limited, and you are not that limited, you are that unlimited. You are Brahman, you are Atma. This is what we have to teach our mind. So again, Shaknodiva, yeah, we'll do that. Then another important point in Shankara Bhashyam, Shankara Bhashyam, what Shankaracharya has written for this verse. See, I am quoting all these from various books only, from the books only. Okay. Since, see, I will just read the translation. Since the impulse of desire and anger is certainly inevitable for a living person, death is said to be the border for such emotions. As there are innumerable causes that can awaken these impulses, we must not relax control over them until death. See, what Shankaracharya has written, Sanskrit is Marana Sima Karanam Jivato Vasyambhamihi Kama Krododbhavo Vegaha Ananta Nimittavan Hi Sa Iti Yavat Maranam Tavat Na Visrambhaniya Ityarthaha. This is the meaning. Since the impulse of desire and anger is certainly inevitable for a living person, death is said to be the border of such emotions. See, same thing what the Swami said at the age of 80 also, he said, have you conquered desire? He said, I am not so sure. Then before death, he said, I have conquered desire. That means it is a constant watch over the desire. Whether desire doesn't mean that suppose somebody is doing a lot of physical activity for the benefit of others, okay, that is not a desire, right? That is not a desire. You are doing social service in the sense for the benefit of others. Whether you can do, whether you cannot do, okay, forget it. That is not important. That action is not considered to be a desire. A desire means anything that I want, without which I will be unhappy. See, practically we have to think. Suppose I don't get it, I will be unhappy. Suppose I get it, I will be happy. Right? This is what then what happens if you don't fulfill it? If you cannot fulfill it, or any obstacle that comes in the way, this kama itself will turn into krodha. It will turn into dvesham. So we can experience this. We can experience this in our day-to-day life, day-to-day moments when we pass through. We can watch our mind when there is a desire, and if it is fulfilled, we are happy. If it is unfulfilled, we are sad, or we will get angry to those which come in the way of fulfilling this desire. So this kama and krodha. Then another explanation for this prak sharira vimokshana is sharira dwara vimokshaha. That is, uh, before the desire explodes through the body and are executed through the body, they must be withheld. This is what explanation given. So before the desire explodes through the body, that means when there is a desire, when you are watching, right, then you have to apply Vedanta. We have to apply this Tattva Bodha. Is it really important? Or that you have, if you are losing, let it be money or let it be a relation, okay, let it be a conversation between husband and wife during that time also, or maybe a father and son or father and daughter, etc., or something of feeling of losing money, or feeling losing of a name and fame, or that ego is hurt. During these times we have to apply and find out, right? That is also a desire. That is also a desire. So there, before this desire explodes through this body and are executed through the body, what is execution of this? Is some words which coming out, or some action which comes out of that. If those actions or the words or mind, kayena manasa vaja, right? So kayena manasa vaja, anything that comes out of because of the emotions that arises out of this desire or anger must be stopped, or must be understood clearly. Very, very important. Sodhum shaknoti, able to endure it. Able to endure it. Shitoshna sukha. If you remember, Shitam Ushnam, the way cold and heat we endure, the same way we have to endure certain things. We have to endure it. Through, not by force, but by Tattva Bodham. This is very important. Through Tattva Bodham, knowing that everything is Brahman. This is exactly what Bhagavan Krishna, as soon as he is born, he gives his advice to his mother Devaki. He says that when you are looking at me, I don't remember the whole verse in Bhagavatam. It says, Putra bhavena Brahma bhavena. When you look at me, you don't see me only as Putra. You see me at the same time as Brahma bhavena. You see me as Brahman. So remember, so it is applicable to each one of us. When you look at your mother or your child or your father or your daughter, your husband, your wife or your friends and the animals and the planets and everything, when you see them as Brahma bhavena, then Putra bhavena. Putra bhavena is the name and form that you are seeing. So at the same time, you remind that it is the Chaitanyam that is expressing as this name and form. Or in other words, the name and form that you see is Brahman only. The mirage water that is being perceived with the sense organs is the desert only. Same way, that which appears as this name and form, as putra or husband and father, mother and friends, etc., they are Brahman only. Consciousness expressing as the name and form. The ornaments that is being expressed as the name and form, necklace, bangle, etc., is gold. The same way, we remind ourselves that everything is Brahman only. Everything is now Putra. When you see Putra Bhavena, Brahma Bhavena. So if it is husband Bhavena, Brahma Bhavena. If it is wife Bhavena, Brahma Bhavena. So like that, we have to teach ourselves that, and with proper understanding. Okay, with the proper understanding, without not just blind belief. Blind belief will not work. Through the Vedanta Shastra, you have to read the Prakarana Granthas, etc., and see that what has appears as many is that only. That has to be done a lot of mananam and nididhyasana. Vedantic meditation also is necessary. So through this nididhyasanam, Sravana, Manana, nididhyasanam, we teach ourselves, and then these two enemies, Kama and Krodha, to be the emotion that arises out of will not arise anymore. Sodhum Sakrodi, then Kama Krododbhavam Vegam. Kama, see, Trishna is the word given by Shankaracharya for this ragam. So this Kama. Trishna. Trishna for sensory experiences, greed for money, relation, etc. When the desires are not fulfilled, the Krodham arises. So, initially, we will have to endure these emotions through Vedanta Vicharam, and then there will be no more, there will be absolutely no more emotions arising, there will be no desire at all. Then that is the word, that is the state of a Brahmajnani. Right? Then one more. Bhagavan says in Bhagavatam, another is endure it like the itching in the body. Endure it like the itching in the body. So, Kanduditavat manasijam vishaheta dhiraha. I'm just quoting only, okay? I haven't read this portion in Bhagavatam, but it's quoted in one book. That is why I'm reading it. So, sayuktaha, sayuktaha, sasughi naraha. He only, sayuktaha, he only will have Sukhi Naraha. That human being, that person is eligible for Atma Anubhavam. That is a Sukhi Naraha. This person will find Sukham or Shanti. This point, Shanti is Sukham. Okay? Ashantasya kuta Sukham. Shanti is Sukham. Okay. So, we'll continue with the 24th verse. Almost 35 minutes on one verse. Again, I request all of you to refresh the third chapter, 37th onwards, okay? Third chapter, 36, 37, 38, 39, etc. Please read again, and maybe you can listen to our class discussions in the YouTube, you can just go through, and then again, it is good to refresh these things. 524. Yom tassukhom dararamaha tadhandarjyotirevayaha sayogi brahma nirvanam brahma bhutodhigacchati. He whose happiness is within, whose delight is within, whose illumination is only within, is a true yogi. Having become one with Supreme, he attains beatitude. So this is the meaning in English. Okay, we'll explain. Yaha, whoever, antasukhaha, right? Who finds atma sukham, or another word is prasadam adhigacchati. If you remember, prasadam is a beautiful word in Bhagavad Gita. Prasadam, that happiness, right, within. Anta sukha. That sukham is not a pleasure that is we get when we get some object like a lottery or newborn baby, etc. No, not like that. This is anta sukha. It is the sukham, the happiness is within. That sukham is eternal, that will be ever present. Okay, that sukham is always there. It is not that the fluctuation that is happens and then again depression, etc. No, not the sugam and dukkam. The fluctuation is not there. It is always shantam. As we explained in the last class, it's like a calm ocean. No, without any wave. The wave is caused because of the wind. Right? The wave is, you can take it as emotions, and the wind is the kama and krodha. Like that. So whereas a mind which is so calm, right, that is anta sukham. Then antararamaha, the delightfulness is within, the happiness is within. Tadha yaha antar jyotihi eva. The same way, one who has atma prakasham. See, Atma Prakasham, when you say, they always see this knowledge is always expressed as Prakasham, light. The knowledge, the Vijnanam, Jnanam, Vijnanam, etc. is always expressed as Prakasham only, it's light only. So within light means there will not be any light, etc. inside. Right? There is a, if you remember the sloka, one line Prakarana Grandham, no? There also it says, Kim Jyotistava Bhanumanahani me Ratrau Pradipadikam. Same thing in Malayalam also. Arkana Ladivali Vokke Grahikyu Boru Kanninnu Kanna Manamagunna Kannadina Kanna Irunna Purul Tanennurakkum Alavanandamendu Harinarayanaya Nama. Kim Jyotistava Bhanumanahani me Ratrau Pradipadakam. Pradipadigam, then I forgot that word. So there last says Jyotihi only. So this Jyoti Prakasham is the Swarupam. It's always expressed as Jyoti, Prakasham, light, etc. Jyotirjwaladi Brahmahamasmi, Ahamasmi Brahmahamasmi. That also. In that Veda mantras also, in Mahanarana Upanishad, a verse comes like this. Ahamasmi Brahmahamasmi, Ahamevaham Mam Juhomi Swaha. There also Jyoti is always. So Jyoti Prakasham is the Atma, is always the Jnanam, is the always expressed as Prakasham. So Tatha yaha antarjyotihi eva atma prakasham. That's the light of knowledge only, right? Saha yogi. He is the Satyadarshi. He is the Brahmajnani. Brahmabhutaha. Brahmabhutaha means there is absolutely no more ignorance in it, and slowly he transforms to Brahman. Okay, see, do not get, see, with the words, okay, transforming means one becomes the other, etc. Not like that. It is self realization is. So the ajnani becomes a jnani. It is not like changing from milk to curd, etc. No, know the self. That's all. Know it clearly. That is Jyoti, right? That is Jyoti. So Sayogi Brahma Bhutaha. He transforms to Brahman. He becomes Brahman only, right? Taittiriya Upanishad says Brahma Vida Apnoti Param. He becomes Brahman only, right? Also in this Manisha Panchakam, there is a fifth verse. Yat Saukhyam Budhilesha Lesata Ime Sakradayo Narbrataha. See, why I'm quoting all this is so that you can note down, and then you can go and study that. You can read it, understand it, listen to some discourses, etc. That is why I am quoting this. Okay. There, Yachitte nidaram prashanta kalane labdva burir nirvritaha yasmin nitya sugham budau galitadir brahmaiva na brahmavit. What it means is that one who knows Brahman is not called Brahmavit. Okay? One who understands or one who realizes Brahman is not called Brahmavid, but Brahmaiva. Not one who knows Brahman. He should not be called as Brahmavid, but should be called as, addressed as Brahmaiva, Brahman only. Okay? One who realizes this is Brahman only. Say Guru is Brahman only. Shastram is Brahman only. Vedam is Brahman only. Everything is Brahman. So there is not that, okay, he knows, okay, yeah, this Guru, yeah, he understands Brahman. Not like that. He is Brahman only. He is Parabrahman. And when a Shishya realizes that there is Guru, realizes this fact, then there is no difference between Shishya and Guru. There is no difference. There is no the duality there. Duality exists only while teaching and then learning. Once it is realized, self-realized, then Brahmaiva. So here Brahma Bhutaha. That from an Ajnani he becomes a Jnani. Then Brahma Nirvana Madhigacchati. Brahma Nirvana means he attains eternal peace. He realizes that he is always in Shanti. His mind is ever calm. Absolutely, there is no disturbance because of the two. Never forget Kama and Krodha, or Raga and Dvesha. It is worthless, I am telling you. These two things keep on. Why I am saying is that it is worthless to stick on to this Raga and Dvesha. It will bite you. At the end, when the buddhi walks away, this vasana which is there inside, the vasana is because of this kama and krodha only. This raga, because of this raga, dvesha, vasana is there, that will manifest through the body, through the mind and body. And there will be no peace. After that, the buddhi is not there to teach you this. So when the buddhi is intact, when we have a healthy body and mind, we have to realize this truth. It's very, very important. Brahma Nirvanam Adhigacchati. Please pay attention to this Raga and Dvesha. That must be removed from the root for sure through Tattvajnana, through proper understanding of the principle. And that can only be known by negating, by negation. Are you this body? Are you this mind? Are you this intellect? Can intellect catch this? Can intellect... See, intellect can only study physics or the cosmology or various things. But intellect cannot grab Atma, because the Atma is behind it. That you know it. That's all. You understand, we all understand that Atma cannot be caught or cannot be perceived by the sense organs or the mind or the intellect also. That we have to know with the intellect. That it cannot be caught by the intellect. Brahma Nirvanam Adhigacchati. Yeah. So, Yom Das Sughondara Ramaha Tadhandar Jyotirevayaha Sa Yogi Brahma Nirvanam Brahma Bhuto Adhigacchati. So, this is what is a kramam. There is a kramam given. There is a proper step by step. 1. win over kama and krodha. Okay, win over these desires and this anger. 2, stop looking outside. Stop. That is bahirmukhatvam. You have to remove. You have to start looking inside. We have to start analyzing, who am I? What is my true nature? Am I this body? Am I this mind? Am I this intellect? That panchakosha vivekam. We have to know clearly. We have to understand this body is constantly changing. So that which is constantly changing, where? It's not me. That which is changing is not eternal, but I am that which is eternal. So know that this changing thing is not me. It is akarma. Akarma is Brahman. Karma is this body and etc. Right? So this clarity slowly we should negate. By that is what is called know yourself and understand the principle. Understand that aham brahmasmi. My true nature is Atma, Satchidanandam. I am not this body. Right? Once we realize this truth within ourselves, then when you see something, when you hear something, when you taste something, when you smell something, is the same Chaitanyam. When we understand that my true nature is Chaitanyam, my true nature is Anandam, then you see the same thing outside also. See, why do you think that when you look at someone, oh, he is good, he is bad, etc. Why do you think we it is only because we consider ourselves as this body. That is the only reason. When you look at someone and say he is bad, the only reason is that you are looking at name and form. You are looking at that body, that shariram you are looking at, and then you come to a conclusion that this body is bad. Why? Because you are thinking yourself as a body only. When you understand yourself as Atma, there is no chance that you will look at name and form and then come to a conclusion, he is bad, he is good, etc. Suppose if a son is looking at his mother as very good or very bad, because only reason is he is finding himself as son. A husband and wife. The husband looks at the wife as, oh, she is very bad, or she is not beautiful, etc. Why? It is only because he looks at himself as a name and form. He looks at himself as a body. He is not seeing himself as Atma, he or she, whoever it is. One who realizes as Atma, then only he will be able to look at others and find the Chaitanyam in others. Otherwise, it is impossible. Otherwise, it will become a book knowledge. That is why always first know the true self, ourselves, inside, look within, and once that realization has happened, once we understand that I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am Satchidananda Rupoham, then you will see the same Anandam, the same Chaitanyam in everything around you. That is why Tunjathelutachan, he said, Yadunnu Kanmadadu Narayana Pratima. Whatever you see, the names and form is the Narayana Pratima. It's an idol of Narayana only. യാതൊന്നു കേൾപ്പതതു നാരായണ ശ്രുതികൾ. Whatever you listen, whatever sound it is, any sound let it be, it is from Narayana only. It is Narayana Shruti, right? യാതൊന്നു ചെയ്വതതു നാരായണാർച്ചനകൾ. Any action that you perform is a offering to Narayana only, because everything is Narayana. You can be a grihastha, you can be a king, you can be a cobbler, you can be a tailor. Whatever action that you are doing as that action is a service to Narayana only, service to Bhagavan. See the flowers, when you put some flowers on the deity of a Bhagavan, you look at the flowers. It's a nishkama karma the flower is doing. The flower, what it has done, it came in a plant, and that flower is being plucked by some people, and then they sell it to somebody else, and then they sell and then sell, ultimately you buy. And all through its path, it is helping others to eat food. The flower that has come in a plant, before it fell on the feet of a god or an idol in your home or in a temple, all through its path, it helped the people to earn some money and then eat. What it gets? Does the flower get any specific? Suppose you say tali, the flower is jumping with joy. Or when you say, oh, this flower is bad, this flower is unhappy. No, it does a nishkama karma through its process. Somebody plucked it, he sold it to someone, so they get some money. So that money was utilized to eat food in their home, and then that person sold it to another. Ultimately, it came to the local vendor. That person also gets some money out of it, the flower vendor, and he also, or that lady, or that family also eats some food out of it. And ultimately you buy it and then put at the feet of the Lord Narayana or Krishna or Shiva or someone. So like that, if you look outside, all these plants and the sun and the moon, everything, the air, everyone is doing a nishkama karma. Only humans, I think, have this me and mine attitude too much. Because of us, everyone else seems to suffer. I don't know. Okay, so we'll stop here. I thought we'll do 24 and 25 also. We'll continue from 25 next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Harihi Om Tatsat. Brahmarpanamastu. Thank you.